I am handing over this book to Professor Spivak. And this is, means I have to accept that this is a historical occasion because it's a academically historical because 40 years ago this book was translated and introduced to the Anglophonic world, and it became a kind of, people started comprehending or miscomprehending what deconstruction is all over the world. And the preface is sometimes, my teacher said that you read, you might find it very challenging to read Derrida's text, but then I remember, I won't announce the name of that professor, but many years ago, 30 years ago, perhaps 25, 30 years ago, he told me that you read the preface first because it is the Bible of deconstruction. And it was really, I am just a couple of semesters ago, I extracted just one or two sections from the preface and used that in the classroom. And it was such a fascinating reading, reading in between the lines and discussing instead of summarizing what Spivak says. So, may I begin with some questions? The question is related with this whole idea of translation. And why did you, after 40 years, you opt for translating this book again? We know that you are ready to criticize your own propositions, your own ideas. So after so many years, what prompted you to translate this book again?
Okay, you can hear me, right? First of all, I want to say how extremely grateful I am that Arun, my friend, has arranged this occasion. I had a launch in Calcutta, I had a launch at Columbia. This is the third one, and really it's a reward for hard work, and I'm very grateful to Arun, and I'm also extremely grateful to you folks for being here in the rain and in the back standing. It's really, stand as long as you can. You're not obliged to stay here forever. Let me say, this mic's picking me up, right? Can I make a joke? Can I make a joke? Although he's asked a serious question. I'll come to the question. I'm not going to forget it. See, I have schools among the landless illiterate on the border of Jharkhand and Bihum. For 30 years I've been teaching and training teachers. And quite often, although I am not a nationalist, I love India, but that has nothing to do with being a nationalist. I'm not a nationalist, but if I'm around on the 15th of August, I'm asked to give speeches. So I give, and I'm always complimented on knowing how to use a handheld mic. Because you see, I'm used to speaking to a handheld mic, right? But most of my wonderful colleagues and so on, friends in the rural area, they are mostly what they're producing is a collection of inharmonious screeches, but I'm holding the mic and speaking. So whenever I hold a handheld mic among people who resemble me, I think of the compliments I receive whenever I speak on Independence Day and another thing about the schools, when it was raining hard, you see, I'm just coming from there, right? And I travel on the back of motorbikes. And, it's the monsoon. So, in fact, what I wear is this top, the head-on, and plastic trousers. Everybody wears the same thing. Because if you don't, in that kind of rain, you're going from one village to another on the back of a motorbike, you aren't going to survive. So this rain, under this beautiful shamiana, it's a pleasure sitting in a swivel chair. So anyway, the question. The question was, why did I retranslate it? The truth of the matter of this life is that if I have learned anything, I have learned from making mistakes. This is what I try to teach my students, and so therefore I knew that when I first translated de la Grammatologie, I didn't know, this story is very well known now, so I don't have to repeat this. I didn't know who Derrida was. I had just ordered the book off a catalogue and liked it very much. And so I offered to translate it because I was 25 years old and I was a very young assistant professor. And I didn't think that anybody, and I thought Derrida was an unknown author. What did I know? This was before email, before the internet was a popular item, and so on and so forth. So, and I was just a smart foreign student, foreign woman student, so nobody particularly told me anything about anything. And I was in the middle of the country. So I thought that nobody would actually publish a little book by a young assistant professor on an unknown author. So I offered to translate, but I knew very little French. I had had only one semester of French at the Alliance Française at the Centre Culturel in Calcutta in 1960, because in my day, when the Calcutta University was a pretty poor university, Presidency College or the university, they did not have foreign language courses. So that was all the French I knew. But I wanted to translate it. I wrote an insanely brave and bold query letter on my own saying I was a fantastic translator. I had never translated anything, and this was a fantastic book. And so later I was told that my query letter was so innocent and almost silly that they thought that they should give me a chance, and the rest is history. So therefore, I felt, and also, of course, I had not read any Derrida except for that one book, and I didn't know what tradition he was in. I knew really nothing about phenomenology, nothing. So I thought that, to write the preface, I took a year off and really read philosophical material for the first time. I was an English honors student at the University of Calcutta, never taken a course, no one had ever taught me philosophy. So when the editor at Johns Hopkins said that he was going to bring out a 40th anniversary edition because the book has sold well, I said, give me a chance to translate it again. Because A, I know more French now, because I haven't gone to school to learn French, but I hung around in Paris with Derrida, I speak, I read, I can now give talks and so on and so forth. It's not perfect. My French is not perfect. I'm bilingual in Bengali and English, but I'm not trilingual. But nonetheless, I know more. And of course, I know much more about Derrida, because he really did change my life in many ways. So I felt that I would be able to translate it in the way that it deserves. Now, of course, Geoffrey Bennington did not think so, but I think that's his problem rather than mine. But at any rate, that's why I translated it again. It nearly killed me. It's a long book. But from time to time I thought, was that too rash a promise? But that's why I wrote.
Thank you.